Today is Tuesday, June 13th, 2023, and the time is 6 p.m. Let us all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. You may be seated. I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. The motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear and second by Ms. King. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the agenda for Tuesday, June 13th, 2023. All in favor say yes. Yes. The motion passes unanimously. Now, the minutes for May 9th, 2023 has been distributed earlier for your to look at. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are no,
I have a question
one question.
on item E on the business agenda. Under the renovation, major projects, did we just make a motion to start the renovations, or it was approved, or did we?
Okay, the motion was made to approve the, are you saying to start it or approve
Right.
it? I'm trying to recall. Well, the motion, once the minutes, was to approve the summer renovation projects. And you, let's see, who was the motion made by?
Is the question, Mr. Chair, to approve and begin the renovation projects, or I guess I want to understand the question.
Well, the question is, was it just a motion to approve, or was it a motion to approve and begin? And if I recall, the motion was to approve, probably with the assumption that it would begin, with the understanding that it would begin. We can revisit that.
You'll take a look at the, if the board pleases that they.
All right, there's some questions about section E in the minutes that we will go back and look at and make some corrections there about while we approved it. Question is the motion to begin that action. So we're going to go back and revisit that. So if there are no other corrections, are there any other corrections to the minutes? Technically, this is the question on the minutes. It's not necessarily a question because we did approve the major summer project renovation. We approved it. So as far as the minutes go,
So
Yeah.
it was clear that when it project cost for the project and the funding.
All right, so what we need to do.
Excuse me, Mr.
Go ahead.
Chairman, but was it clear with the vendor, the contractor that was gonna actually do the work, was that part clear?
With of the ones with RFPs, there were some RFPs that were still out. And they weren't due until the meeting was over. So there were ones that didn't require an RFP, funding source and the cost were presented at the time of presentation. We definitely
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the minutes with with a note to revisit item A, excuse me, item E? Okay, it's been properly motioned and second to approve the minutes with the note to revisit item E. Are there any questions? So the motion is to approve the minutes from May 9th with the note to revisit item E. Has been made and properly seconded by Ms. Blackshear and King. And so, are there any questions? And if there are no questions, the motion to approve the minutes from May 9th with the necessary corrections, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
The minutes have been approved unanimously. Okay. At this time, we'll get the ethics statement from Ms. Blackshear.
Thank you. In accordance with regulations set forth by the Georgia Ethics Commission, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflict and such conflict. Does any board member see any conflict of interest scheduled before us or appearing on our proposed agenda? Seeing none, Mr. Chair, we will proceed with our agenda.
All right, next on the agenda are comments from the board. Comments or remarks from the board. Are there any comments or remarks from any member of the board? If not, next we'll have comments from the superintendent.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, board members, all of our constituents that are with us tonight in the board meeting and those that are joining us virtually, I'd like to acknowledge a letter that we received from the Georgia Association of School Personnel Administrators on June the 5th. It said, "We are pleased to notify you that your school system was recently recognized by the Georgia Association of School Personnel Administrators during our spring conference held May 24 through 26, 2023. This year, personnel professionals like yours were honored for outstanding achievement in various human resources activities with the distinctions of platinum, gold, and silver. We are pleased to tell you that your Human Resources Department received a silver award in recruitment processes and materials, a gold award in retention practices, and a gold award in strategic partnerships. With the mission of the GASPA organization is to lead the way in providing the best human capital management services for Georgia's K-12 public schools. We do hope that you will take this opportunity to formally recognize your human resources staff in reaching this outstanding accomplishments. Congratulations to you and your staff. I'd like to congratulate our Human Resources Department and our Director, Ms. Shannon Dotsekas. Could you come up, Ms. Dotsekas? If you have those awards, bring them with you. We have done and worked very diligently to, hold on, I'm coming down, we're gonna take a picture. Worked very diligently to put practices in place to retain our staff, to recruit the very best and brightest for our young men and young women, our boys and our girls. And also, we reached out outside of Twigs and outside even of the state of Georgia to develop partnerships that will help us to bring in talented, content-rich, content-prepared, and certified educators to educate our students. And as a result of all of that work, we've been recognized by the state association. So we want to congratulate you on all the work, and the principals and hiring managers. This is not a one-person job by any stretch of the imagination. We do want to congratulate whenever we get a state acknowledgement like this. So I'm going to come down and take a picture with you if you don't mind. Mr. Chair, it also brings me pleasure to celebrate some of Twiggs County's best and brightest, some that are unfortunately deciding to retire and leave us and go on to the next stage of life. We're going to start with them. We have 5 retirees for 2020-2023. And I'm going to ask Ms. Dotsekas to come back to the microphone and help us to properly acknowledge these team members who have been with us, dedicated their lives and their service and their gifts to us, and helped us to make Twiggs County what it is. Ms. Dotsekas.
Good evening to everyone. We have a great crowd tonight. Thank you all for being here. We would like to honor and recognize all of our retirees this evening. I think every one of us is a little bit jealous of you tonight. And I think we're probably all counting down our days. And you are there, and we are so thankful for everything you've done for Twiggs County, for the students here, for the state of Georgia, because it's so important that we have people in the right positions that can support us as we educate our students. As a parent, it is so important to me when I see all of you out there working with those students, because you are an extension of me when I'm not there. And so I thank you personally for all of the hard work that you have provided all of these years. We do have some gifts for you, and I'm actually going to call up the principals in a few minutes, but we do have some gifts for you at the district level. We have over here a beautiful suitcase, and we hope that now you will take the time to get on that road and go, because now is your time to do that, and we are just so excited for each of you that you now have the opportunity to step into that next phase of life and go and do and be a kid again. I do have something I would like to read to you that I felt like was the perfect statement for an educator that is retiring. Whatever role you have played in the education system, this retirement blessing is perfect. And once I read this, I am going to announce each one of our retirees, and I'm going to ask their supervisors to come forward and say a few words. Listen closely. A retirement blessing. You started on this journey so many years ago, and now it's time to leave behind dear friends you've come to know. You sought divine direction and a heart to do His will. Your work became your passion as you used your gifts and skills. You set the highest standards for yourself and others too, showing honor, pride, and dignity. They saw the best in you. A rags to riches story need not be your bottom line. The priceless things that we gain in life often come from the divine. So don't waste one more minute wishing for things that might have been. Rather, watch the seeds that you have planted grow and feel His peace within. I pray God keeps you safe and well wherever you may turn, surrounded by your loved ones, living out your dreams that you have earned. And in the quiet of your heart, may you hear God softly say, "My good and faithful servant, I am so proud of you this day." And this was written by Ms. Barbara D. McAdam. And each of our retirees will have this poem framed to take home along with their luggage. So the first person I would like to call up is Miss Jenkins, if you'll come on up, our principal at Jeffersonville Elementary. Y'all, I can't talk tonight. And we do have 3 retirees that Miss Jenkins will be talking about. We have Miss Pamela Hogan, who cannot join us this evening. We have Miss Annie Hutchinson, and we have Miss Judith Glover.
I am going to begin speaking about Ms. Hogan, who is not present. Ms. Hogan joined us just a year ago, and we knew that she had many years to devote to educating our scholars. She was in the adaptive exceptional ed classroom, and she made her mark every single day as a JES devoted staff member. And I will say that as time went on, she got a little tighter and a little tighter. And I could tell you that as an option to retire and being of age and have served the students, she made a decision to retire. And I just want to thank Ms. Hogan, because it is a smart and wise person to know when it's time and when you're capable and able to sit down. And so Ms. Hogan is not here. She is enjoying retirement. She didn't even want to prepare her clothes to come out tonight. So I know that she is listening. I just want to thank her from the bottom of my heart for all 180 days that she devoted to our scholars. And for the other students that she educated around many counties. She spent many time in Wilkinson in Peach County. And so I just want to thank her from the bottom of the JES's family's heart for the dedication that she gave to us at her end of her service to students in America. Ms. Hutchinson, I'm going to start by saying nurse, because many days I would call nurse, and that's exactly how I began my day. Nurse! It is indeed a pleasure to stand here and say, you deserve to retire. This is 2 times. I say to nurse, she worked with Dr. Fauci, because everything that he knew, she knew. Every report she would definitely read and review and give me the other side to every story. I want to say that I admire nurse because when we began this journey with COVID, she showed absolutely no fear. She was the embodiment of tenacity, the embodiment of she had committed to serving. And she would come every single day and help us get through the journey. Sometimes she was distinguishing the fear from the students and the staff, but she did it with such grace. And then I love how she'd always say, there's nothing new under the sun. Nurse had seen it all and done it all. I do want to say that she is a gentle force in the building, extremely loving to our students. They could come in crying, they could come in with splinters, and she has probably given out more Band-Aids in the last couple of years than she has in her entire life. But then she got creative and she started decorating those Band-Aids and making sure that those students had Band-Aids that was JES colors. And so I love her endlessly for that. Nurse, I just want to say to you that as you begin your journey, you too had a choice. And it's good to make a choice and not have a choice made for you. And so I just want to say that as you leave, you are always a part of the JES family. And every time that I see you, I will make sure that I greet you properly because you have served us well. Y'all, please help me congratulate Nurse Hutchinson. If her family would come up on her retirement. If her family would come up so they can take a picture with her, we would greatly, greatly like to honor you. You have an aunt, sister, beautiful friend, best friend. I love a best friend. Come on, best friend, take a picture. JES is next. We have a certificate for you, Nurse, that you can put on your wall at home. Again, Nurse is retiring again and again. I'd like to give people their flowers while they're here. So the nurse will receive from her JES family a beautiful blue and gold, blue and yellow bouquet of flowers and a rocking chair. I hope every day that you're on your porch, that you rock to the memories. Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. The next person I met when I first came to Twigs. She would send me prayers when I'd walk down the hall. She would say sweet messages to me about keep doing the work. She would say to me how proud she was of me. I didn't realize that Ms. Glover was doing this for everybody. Ms. Glover was sending prayer messages to everybody because that's exactly who she is. She's extremely loving and definitely diligent about her job. Ms. Glover checked every box, every invoice, every staple, every sheet of paper. Nothing got by Ms. Glover. When I had an opportunity to become a leader at JES, and Ms. Glover said that she would be the secretary for me, I knew that I was going to be in great hands. But Ms. Glover, you have a way of loving your entire family. And for the 29 years that you came to JES, that's uncounted because there's some time that we can't account for. It's probably about 35. Because she had so many jobs prior to coming to JES and the Twigs family. She'd done a lot. And while she was in Twigs, she taught classes. She's been a secretary. She's cleaned the floor. She's done just about everything that you could do at JES. And every day you did it with a little bit more pride and a little bit more pride. She has children in our building. She has a daughter in our building. When she comes in, she lights up the building. I'm not going to say that Ms. Glover was ready to retire, but she owned it when it was her time. And she called continuously to tell us what to do, how to do, when to do. And I just want to say to you, Ms. Glover, that I thank you for sitting down. I thank you for putting yourself first. We say that all the time in this profession. We say it all the time in the world now. It's become the thing to say. But you know what? It was good to see you be able to sit down. And so in this journey in life, I'm glad to see that you have been restored. I'm glad to see that you are here. And you will always, always, always be a tiger in my heart. I want to thank you for everything that you've done for the entire community of Twigs, because everybody knows Miss Judith Glover. Ms. Glover will receive, of course, her poem from the district and a certificate. And if her family, too, would come up to take a picture with her, we like to take pictures. Ms. Glover did everything with a smile. Flowers in her rocking chair. And I just want to thank the Tweeds County families for taking the time to come and celebrate with our retirees. They do a great job, and anybody that works in Tweeds County knows you don't just do that one job. You do multiple jobs. So thank you for a job well done.
Thank you, Ms. Jenkins. Next, I'd like to ask Mr. Tyrone Bacon to come up, and he has several retirees that he would like to introduce.
It's always hard to follow Ms. Jenkins, but I do it well. When I was a teacher, I thought teachers were important. When I became an assistant principal, I thought I was important. When I became a principal of a school, I thought that was the most important job until I started working in operations. No offense, Michael, because we love our custodial services department. But the real warriors, the everyday warriors, the first 5 o'clock in the morning is when the first bus driver gets up. 5:30 is when the first child is picked up. An hour and a half is our longest route, Miss Veal. And that's a long time, facing forward with 90 kids in some cases at your back. So I know who's the most important group of people, or at least the bravest, the warriors of this organization, the backbone are the school bus drivers, a job I'm not qualified to have and I don't want. The two ladies that are retiring from us, and we're blessed here because in a lot of systems, they're struggling, and we are too to a certain degree with personnel. But we really fall in the gap and really help each other. So we are really blessed in that regard. Miss Georgia has been our special needs bus driver. I don't know how long you've been on that route, but it's been at least 11 years since I've been here. And the thing that's important about our group is they are never late. They never are sick. They don't take off. Now, that's not for you young folks out there, Mr. McLeod. Y'all a different breed. And it's been an honor to watch every day and not worry as a leader. It's good to say, I don't have to worry about the special ed bus, except when you retired and you took that month off and we were struggling. Except for that, you did us wrong, but we still love you. It's good to have employees you don't worry about, but sometimes we forget about those employees. Sometimes we don't celebrate those employees because they're good to us, because we're always focused on those other people. So first of all, Miss Georgia, I want to say thank you on behalf of the Transportation Department, the Operation Division of the school system, and of course, all of us here. So let's give Miss Georgia a round of applause. Yeah. So, Miss Georgia, we had to scrape up our pennies. We don't have Mayday and all of that. So what we have, selling ice cream, we don't have any of that. But what we did able to scrape up, we got you a 50-inch TV so you can watch TV in the comfort of your own home. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Miss Bernie, are you here? She's not here. Okay. Well, Miss Christine Burney is, she has another job I don't want in the system, and that's bus monitor, where you got to sit in the back with them. She's a good employee and on the longest route, so a lot of you don't know, we service some of the programming that we have, go all the way to Macon and back. So that's an all-day affair on the bus, back and forth. And with our special needs students, they need special attention. And the thing about Miss Burney is that she has a heart for children. She's a gentle but kind and stern soul. And her and Miss Rose over there, they make that journey every day. And we really do appreciate Miss Burney. So we have for Miss Burney the same outfit. We have her a TV to watch. And the reason why we got your own TV, because I know I don't like to, when I'm in the mood to rest, I want to watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it, so you can put that anywhere and not have to worry about it. So we got her some roses. We try to get those to her, and some Skinny Pop as well. So once again, we want to congratulate our retirees in the Transportation Department and the Operation Division of the Twiggs County School System. Thank you, ladies, for all that you've done.
Thank you so much, Miss Christine Burney, Miss Georgia Hill, Miss Pamela Hogan, Miss Annie Hutchinson, and Miss Judith Glover. If you'll all stand up again, and let's give them all a round of applause. And don't forget to pick up your going away present before you leave.
We'll make sure she gets her gifts when she comes in.
We almost got too many retirees at one time.
Well, Mr. Austin, will you come to the microphone? We have some celebrations also that we'd like to acknowledge. Mr. Austin is going to present to them, and he's going to first acknowledge the Gold Classified Leadership Academy. And then following that, he will acknowledge the bus driver, Central Georgia Technical College program completion celebration.
Good evening, Board Chair, Vice Chair, Board members, Superintendent Dr. Bullard, our constituents in person and virtually. I dare not go behind or try to be anything as comical as Mr. Bacon or as charismatic as Ms. Jenkins. I only can do the best that I can do. The Gold Leadership Academy is an innovative program that we started in Twiggs County. The 7 that chose to participate have truly made history. I believe the numbers are 1 out of 5, or maybe 1 out of 3 districts in the state, if you will, has a program that addresses our classified leadership staff in the way that we have done. And for us to be a rural district in the middle of the state, we have yet again set the trend for how to inspire, challenge, and prepare. The sample that we selected covers school bus drivers, school nutrition staff. It covers our paraprofessional, graduation coach. We have touched every spectrum of a classified employee in our school staff, including support staff at the executive level. I tell you, I am extremely proud of this group because coming in, they had no idea what they was getting themselves into. They looked at me some days and wanted to say, Mr. Austin, I got something else to do. And I said, no, you come on. We got work to do. Everybody in your charge depends on you to do the right thing for these students. And I want to point that out. Mr. Bacon has said it best. There's other positions that are backbones, that are influential in everything that takes place in our district. The work that you do and the work that you continue to do will build generations in our garden of twigs. So I am proud of you, even from the crucial conversations that we learned about and that you adequately quoted on certain equations. And I think that those skills are going to get you very far. So now I'm going to take a step back because Ms. Reading reads names a whole lot better than I can. And she's going to ensure that each of you get a chance to come up and receive a certificate, a year-long program that you completed. You graduated, y'all. And so you can get your certificate and hang it on the wall and show people that you are the gold standard for leadership.
Kwame Bloodworth. Stephanie Collins. Leandra Lewis. Kenya Veal. Michael Washington. Jasmine White. And Ronnie McElhaney. Ronnie McElhaney was one as well, but she is not able to be with us tonight.
Mr. Bacon, can you come up front, please? Mr. Bacon has already set the charge for our bus drivers. He's already stated that they are the good morning that sets the tone for all of our students that participate in our transportation system. The initiative that we did was attempting to become more innovative and provide more resources to assist our bus drivers in transporting our kids more efficiently and effectively, communicating with the schools and being safe from implementing dispatch services and technology that they would use on the bus. One of the things that Mr. Bacon and Chief Waller has laid the foundation for is ensuring that everything that we do, that we keep in mind of the people that do the real good work that we would not do and we would not get the CDL for. So we know that the importance of the bus drivers, and we implement this new technology. They had the opportunity to participate in the program at Central Georgia Technical College. And they went through several months of receiving certifications in Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft Office applications. And these applications was key to preparing them for where we're going next. So I commend them for the work they have done. They have received their credentials from the college. That's something to clap for. I know that they were probably wondering what was going on, but it was intentional for you all to get off-site, to fellowship together, to build leadership, and to understand how you're going to become a driving force, pun intended, of our school district. So at this time, we also have a certificate for you all of completing that program. And I will again allow Ms. Ridden to read those names.
Miss Sandra Stanley. Miss Rose Basley. Mr. Kwame Bloodworth. Mr. Jack Little. Mr. Otis Clark. Mr. Mariko McLeod. Miss Kathy Williams. Miss Christine Rouse. Miss Tasha Thomas. Miss Georgia Hill. Miss Cynthia Beal. Miss Pamela Jules. Miss Yvette Williams. And Miss Ronnie McElhaney.
So to all the classified staff, the GO leadership, and also all our bus drivers, you come to the front and take one group picture with your families and administrators. It's a lot of you all, so I couldn't do it individually. But if you would like to take a picture as a whole, please come forward so we can take a group picture with everybody. Principals, APs. Bring those certificates. We need to see those certificates.
Everybody.
Everybody. Yeah. Your
Everybody
families,
bring your certificates.
your principals, your support staff. Thank you all.
Mr. Chair, it's my honor again to present all of these celebrations and these fantastic employees and team members who make our county what it is. And I turn the agenda back over to you.
All right, thank you, sir. Yeah, it's always a joy to take the time to recognize those people who kind of go undercover. So appreciate y'all taking that time out to recognize them.
Ms. Bernie, we got some nice stuff for you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Bacon, come up and take a picture with Miss Bernie since she made it. We want to put her picture in the Chronicles of Time as well. Congratulations, Ms. Bernie.
You get a suitcase too. Not that I need you to go anywhere.
You know what happened.
This time we'll move to our business agenda. We have, excuse me, we have 1, 2, 3 action items. And so the first action item we bring to the table is the district request. So now we'll now entertain a motion to approve the district request. Well, before that, let's review the district request.
Yes, sir. Again, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, board members, constituents that are with us and those who are joining us virtually, we are a district with a vision, and that's to generate excellence, one team, one goal. And we do that by fulfilling our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all of our students to compete globally. We have 3 district requests we request your approval for. Ms. Andrea Denson, our coordinator for CTAE, would like to take our students from the CTAE program from Two County High School to Hutchins College and Career Academy's Entrepreneur Camp. That camp is going to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, June the 20th through the 22nd, from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we request your permission to take that field trip. Also, Coach Ray and also other football coaches request your permission to take our varsity football team to participate in the Bud Dupree 7-on-7 tournament. And that's going to be at the Wilkerson County High School on the 26th of June, which is a Monday. And finally, Ms. Reesa Jenkins and Mr. Wilcher would like your permission to take our pre-K through 5th students from JES to Pine Mountain Wild Animal Safari. And the purpose of that trip is so that the students will be able to evaluate similarities and differences in nature with plants and animals, and that'll be on Wednesday, the 28th of June. That completes our field trip request on tonight.
All right, thank you. I will now entertain a motion to approve the district request.
I move that motion.
Second.
The motion to approve the district request has been properly made by Mr. Rouse and second by Ms. King. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the district request. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Our next action item is the related services by Mr. Brian Howe.
Good evening, Board Chair Kostoffen, Chair, Vice Chair Rouse, board members, in person and virtually. Today, we'll be talking about related services for our PEC department. Before we talk about our related services, we are assisted with a vision: to generate excellence, one team, one goal. And our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. Along with our vision, we make sure that we focus everything with our strategic goal. And our focus area in this is with excellence ahead, academic facilities and opportunities, growing and sustaining our village. Well, our contract-related services in this presentation, we were talking about physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language therapy. The physical therapy promotes motor development and student participation in everyday routines and activities that are part of the students' programs. Illumin's online therapy serves 10 students with about $808 per week with a total cost of $29,088 for the school year. That's what we currently use. Occupational therapy. The occupational therapy addresses the physical, cognitive, and psychosocial and sensory components of performance, included but not limited to fine motor skills, gross motor skills, handwriting, and spacing. Currently, we use Haynes Physical Therapy. She serves about 15 students at $520 per week with a total annual cost of $18,720. Speech and language therapy. The speech and language pathologist works with students with communication disorders, included but not limited to articulation, production of sounds, language expressions, and receptor. We were using Dr. Dixon, but she's retiring. So now we'll be looking at speech-to-me speech therapy. She'll serve about 35 students. That's $1,500 per week with a total cost of $54,000. Any questions?
Are there any questions?
They all did a good job.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did we get an increase in any of the students though? I know you said 10, 15, so they was kind of the same.
We're still just kind of about the same, yes, ma'am. And we only had one student that was increased in the physical therapy and occupational therapy. We had one student, so she'll be receiving both, well, and also in speech too, so she'll get all three services.
Are there any other questions? At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the related services request.
I move the motion to.
Second.
Okay, the motion to approve the related services has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear and second by Mr. Rouse. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the related services. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
The motion approves, the motion passes unanimously. Let's say anonymously. The next action item is personnel policies. Mr. Seekers?
Good evening, Board Chair Karstoffen,
Good
Board
evening.
Vice Chair, Superintendent, and board members. And good evening to all of our members here in person and who are online virtually. I'm going to share with you two policies this evening. The first policy has a revision, and the second policy is basically part of the first one, only with people who are not retiring. But I first must say that we are a district with a vision, which is generating excellence, one team, one goal. And our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. These two policies help support our strategic initiatives 4 and 5, which are growing and sustaining a village, and then we are a premier people-first organization. The first board policy that I have to share with you has one small update. When we began going over policy GCQ, we realized there was some verbiage in here that needed to be clarified, and that's in the third paragraph. But I will go ahead and read the entire policy again, and then if you have any questions, I can answer those. Classified employees with questions regarding retirement should contact the Twiggs County School District's Human Resources and Benefits Department. Attendance incentive for PSERS participants only. Employees participating in the Public School Employees Retirement System, otherwise known as PSERS, will be eligible for an attendance incentive award. No one can receive an attendance incentive award for more money per day than he or she would earn in a day. PSERS employees who are actively working at retirement will receive a one-time payout as an attendance incentive award for the number of unused sick leave days. The calculation used to determine the amount owed to the PSERS employee will be the unused sick leave days in the district's current payroll system at the date of retirement, with a 56.25 day maximum multiplied by the PSERS employee's daily rate. The award will be made automatically in the month following the PSERS employee's final paycheck. The District Human Resources and Finance Benefits Department must have written documentation from PSERS stating that the employee is eligible for retirement and the effective date of the retirement. PSERS employees who resign will not receive a PSERS payout for unused sick leave. PSERS employees who are terminated forfeit all rights to an attendance incentive award under this provision. The word that we had to look at and clarify was in that third paragraph where it talked about a 56.25 day maximum multiplied by the PSERS employee's daily rate. We had not clarified that statement, and we just wanted to make sure that we were very clear in the way we described how we would pay them. Any questions? Okay. The next policy that is basically part of this one is about leave. However, this pertains to individuals who are not retiring yet. Our employees can only carry over each year 45 accrued days. So anytime if they have over 45, they lose the days at the end of the year. So I'll read this and then answer any questions. Classified employees with questions regarding leave should contact the Twiggs County School District's Human Resources and Benefits Department. Another attendance incentive. Employees participating in the public school employees retirement system will be eligible for an attendance incentive award. No one can receive an attendance incentive award for more money per day than he or she would earn in a day. PSERS employees who are actively working at the end of each year will receive a payout as an attendance incentive award for the number of unused sick leave days that will be lost after the maximum rollover number of days is reached. The calculation used to determine the amount owed to the PSERS employee will be the unused sick leave days that are not eligible for rollover in the district's current payroll system at the last day of the employee's work year, multiplied by the PSERS position's substitute daily rate of pay. The award will be made automatically in the last month of the PSERS employee's paycheck for the fiscal year. PSERS employees who resign will not receive a PSERS payout for unused sick leave. PSERS employees who are terminated forfeit all rights to an attendance incentive award under this provision. Questions?
Are there any questions? Okay, I will now entertain a motion to approve the personnel policies.
I move that motion to approve both personnel policies. Second.
The motion to approve the personnel policy has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear and second by Ms. King. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the personnel policies. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously.
I would like to say one thing. Don't y'all look to retire soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Seekers. At this time, we will hear from the Mr. James Austin with the bond resolution adoption.
Good evening again. Bill Camp from Raymond James will walk us through this presentation. I do want to introduce him as he makes his way to the podium. And board, I do want to ensure that this does align with our vision of generate excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. It does align with our strategic plan goals: number 1, learning and awareness for all; 2, excellence ahead, academics, facilities, and opportunities; 3, doing things the Twiggs way; and 4, growing and sustaining our village.
Good evening. Good evening. Good to be with y'all again. I'm here representing a large group of people who have been working for you for several months now. It all began with your legal team and us and you all discussing voting the sales tax again, putting the bonds on the ballot, holding that referendum. Everything was successful. Mr. Austin did a wonderful job. You'll never appreciate all the extra work that he went through, Dr. Bullard as well, preparing an offering document, which we've been using for the last several weeks to sell your bonds. And I've prepared a little handout for a presentation for you. Some of it's going to be a lot drier than the presentations and celebrations y'all have had this evening, so I apologize in advance. but I wanted to give you a good idea of what's been happening in Twiggs County and about how well we did with your bond sale today. Your sales tax last few years has been doing pretty well. We've seen sales tax cool off a little bit in the first few months of this year. Our last 12 checks have averaged $62,000, about $750,000 for 12 checks. So what are historical norms for what tax exempt rates are doing? Next page, please. Our referendum was held on March the 21st. Almost an 88% success rate, folks. I'm not familiar with one with better stats than that. So you all need to feel good about that. We hit the ground running with our process that was necessary to prepare our offering documents soon after the election. And we're in a mode to be marketing. The last couple weeks, we sold bonds today. And with your blessing and approval, we will move forward with closing the transaction and depositing money into your account on June 27. There's a few more steps that need to occur, and I'll explain those later. And again, we're going to pay back the bonds, the principal amounts in 26 through 30, and those line up with the cash flows from the next sales tax. Our bond yield, that is an average rate for the 5 different principal maturities, is 3.23%. When we add in our cost of issuance, the fees associated with the rating and legal and our fee, our all-in cost is a 4.08. For the first time, we got Twiggs County School District rated. You have 2 ratings on your bonds, AA1 by virtue of the state of Georgia's Intercept program for public schools. This is a free benefit to you all. It's an enhancement. It helps us sell the bonds at the rates that we did. And our underlying rating is BAA1. We also are designating the bonds as bank qualified, and that's an advantage to certain investors. They get a little bit more benefit out of that designation. Again, free to you, but helps us with the marketing. As you recall, when the voters approved your bonds, they approved you to issue up to $3.4 million. And in the manner that we sold the bonds with what are called premium pricing, where we sold the principal at greater than face value, we wanted to keep our payments right around that 750 mark. So we've actually downsized the principal amount to $3,170,000. You can see the dollar prices by maturity, but long story short, the proceeds from the sale are just over $3.4 million. So you're still getting the same amount of money as originally was planned. You're just doing it with a slightly smaller principal amount. Next page, please, sir. This 3 columns of interest rates, I'm comparing your yields where we priced your bonds today versus the AAA scale, which is our highest credit quality there is. And on average, we're about 0.58% higher in interest rate. And I wanted to give you a reference, a frame of reference for what does that really mean. Next page. So what we've done is we've gone back and looked at some comparable transactions and compared. I put a star next to where in 26 through 30 where they were selling bonds and where we were selling bonds. So we selected recent pricings for similar issuers. This is a school district in Wisconsin and a different underwriter because I didn't want to compare our work on your bond issue to other work for other school districts. But in this case, they had a higher underlying rating, AA3, and our yields were 4 basis points lower, better. Lower yield is better for you. our pricing was better with a lower rated credit than theirs was. Next page. This is another school district, this time in Missouri, Bowling Green, Missouri. And again, their average spread over the AAA scale was 0.67%, yours 0.58. And the best for last, page 9, we beat this one by 20 basis points. Our pricing was that much tighter to the AAA scale than theirs. In similar credit, a slightly higher underlying rating than yours. This is our report card. You all are in the education business, and I'm giving you a report card. So historically speaking, rates are about average, and our job for you today was better, I would say better than average. We earned our keep. Page 10, this is the guts of it. There are costs of issuance associated with the bond issue, which I've delineated down at the bottom. We are borrowing money now so that we can accomplish certain projects. We don't have to wait until the next sales tax kicks in. So we need to set aside some money to pay interest until the renewal SPLOST starts. We're setting aside $226,000 of your bond proceeds. When all is said and done, we are projected to deposit on June the 27th, $3,076,000 into your construction fund. You can go ahead and let projects and start them. And I don't know if you all remember the pretty charts about how bad inflation has been. So we're getting out in front of inflation. That's the reason we're investing the money and paying that capitalized interest to get costs on our project. Next page. So this is page 11. Shows us, the yellow column explains, sort of gives you a visual. Capitalized interest is going to carry us through December of 2024. Our sales tax will begin levying January 1 of 25. And so we'll start making what we call net debt service payments from the sales tax in June of 25. And those totals of about $750 align with what our current sales tax collections are. Next page. Page 12. I'm again just showing you the timing, why our principal amounts line up with that future cash flow. And at the bottom of the page, running the sales tax at different rates. We voted a cap much higher than this $3,760,000 that we anticipate collecting if we don't change at all. So hopefully we'll collect more money over and above what debt service is every year, and you'll have additional dollars for projects. Page 13. This is just a schedule of events, the next things that need to happen in order for us to close on June 27th. We are very happy with the pricing, and we hope you are. So with your approval tonight of the bond resolution and other related documents, we'll move forward. Next phase will be the commissioners adopting what's called the tax levy resolution. This is, they are not co-signing your loan. This is simply a requirement under Georgia law that whenever we issue general obligation bonds, you put the taxing entity, the entity that actually collects your tax on your behalf, on notice of what those future payments are going to be. Again, sales tax is anticipated to be our revenue source for repayment, but if necessary, we'll levy a property tax to collect whatever portion SPLOST was insufficient for. We will post our final official statement and work towards opening the construction fund account. Right now, Georgia Fund 1 is where those dollars are anticipated to be deposited. They're paying a 5% yield on investments right now. And we will close the transaction wire year funds on June 27th. My friends, my associates at Butler Snow and Jones Cork have entrusted me to explain the legal side of this. I'm not an attorney, but I stayed at a Hampton Inn, so. So let me tell you what first off, are there any questions about the bond piece, the numbers that we just went through? All right. And if something comes to you, just holler out and let me know. The bond resolution that has been prepared, finalized today based on these numbers, outlines the principal amounts, the interest rates that I showed you in this pricing book. It also outlines all the accounts that need to be created for the bonds. The state intercept program is a request from your board to get the state to sign over and back these bonds. That's part of the bond resolution. Again, they're not co-signing your loan. It's just a free enhancement that we intend never to draw on. Also, the bond purchase agreement. That's our contract with you all. We have sold your bonds, and we're going to deliver your funds on June 27th. There are just a few more things that need to happen before we do that. That bond purchase agreement is encompassed in the bond resolution adoption as well. And really, you just need one motion to approve the bond resolution and the other related documents. And thank you for letting us work for you again. This is the fourth bond issue that we've worked with you on, and it's our first rating for Twiggs County School District, and very happy to be involved with that. Thank you for that privilege. Thank you.
Questions?
About the process, what's the difference in how we did it? I know you didn't
Yep.
do it for us last year.
Yep.
I mean, the other time we did our bond.
Right.
So what's the difference that?
Last time when we sold them, the last three versions were what are called non-rated private placements, where we have a limited pool of purchasers. They're called qualified institutional investors. They're willing and able to do their own due diligence. In the past, those bond issues were a little bit smaller principal amount. And then, honestly, we had different tax implications then, where corporate tax rates were a lot higher than they are today. Also, some of the things, when you do a private placement, when you sell a private placement, generally you're selling it to banks. And honestly, banks, private placement rates are a lot higher of late than they were in years previously. It's kind of an economics thing more than anything else.
You mentioned Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
Any other local that you?
And if you notice, those are back over the last month looking for recent pricings. I do not have any other school districts to compare to in Georgia that have come lately. No, ma'am. In each one of those cases, though, we picked a similar type issuer and a higher rating than what the Twiggs rating is, to show you, hopefully you see that that's a fair comparison. Similar pricing, but higher rated transactions than what we were selling today.
And you need to close by June 27th.
June 27, yes, ma'am.
After the adoption here, the next step is to commissioners.
That's right, yes, sir. And that's been the case in past years. It's not unique to Twiggs. It's a state law. You set your taxes, you set your levy, but they are the entity that would collect taxes if in a future year you needed them to. And that's the reason for the tax levy resolution.
Are there any other questions? Questions?
I was just wondering any other school district that they work with. Yes, ma'am.
Well, my question is to Mr. Austin. Since with this change, what do you think about it, since you are CFO?
Yes, sir. The Silicon Valley Bank incident that took place earlier this year, it shifted the way banks did business. So going to a public offering was more economical, it was safer, and allowed us to get the process done more efficiently. So I'm confident that the pricing is good. Our rating is the best that, with all the conditions in the, far as in our tax base, our population and enrollment, this is the best rating that TWIS has. And so I'm very confident in the work that Raymond James has done. We've been working together for a number of years on different projects in the past district and leading up to this district. And to couple that question with Ms. Blackshear's concern, the reason that he does not, or the company does not have a district in similar size in Georgia to compare to, because a district our size in Georgia has not issued bonds at the same time that we have. So there's different schedules. Every SPLOST run 5 years, but everyone does not issue bonds, and everyone does not set and SPLOST the same time that we do. Now, back in 2021, 2022, we saw some districts comparable. Crawford County, for example, that had the exact same rating that we had. So I did ask Bill to prepare that for me. He sent me a document that showed, but it was 2 or 3 years ago. But that's the last issuance of districts our size, and that had a comparable rating. The only other district that I can think of maybe had a rating above us, and that was next door. I think it was Wilkinson County, maybe. And say again? Social Circle. Yeah, social Circle is a little larger than us, have a little larger tax base, but that's the most recent he's referring to that happened in Georgia, but not comparable as far as size and population. But we did do our due diligence. That's something I requested. I even requested similar tax millage rates as well for comparison to make sure that whatever we decided, that we had the best format for Twitch County.
Any other questions? Okay, I would now entertain a motion to approve the bond resolution with its related documents. Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve the bond resolution adoption series 2023.
Can I get a second?
Second.
The motion to approve the bond resolution and its related documents has been properly made by Ms. King and second by Mr. Rouse. Is there any discussion? The question is on the adoption of the motion to approve the bond resolution and its related documents. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. The motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay, next we have a couple of information. The first is the budget, um, hearing tentative budget. Mr. James Austin.
Yes, sir. So we have went through our entire budget calendar for fiscal year, upcoming fiscal year 24. I feel we had a very successful process, internal discussions, ensure that we allotted the proper resources based upon the state and projections. So I'm confident it's time to present FY24 tentative budget. We did advertise information regarding the tentative budget via our social media channels on May 23rd, and we did place a submission into our legal organ I think the first week in June. So we have done all the legal requirements to circulate the information prior to adopting a budget on June 27th. With that being said, it does align with our vision of generate excellence, one team, one goal, our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. The budget is one of those rare items that addresses all of our strategic plan goals. Number one, learning awareness for all. Two, excellence ahead, academics, facilities, and opportunities. Three, doing things the Twiggs way. Four, growing and sustain our village. And five, a premier people-first organization. As promised to you on last board meeting, I mentioned that the state was in the process of releasing our initial allotment. I will highlight 3 to 4 things that are important that we look at when we're making the budget. So in the first column, direct instructional cost, those are the 18 programs that we receive FTE dollars for. The total direct cost, $689, is the same projection that we had in the amount of students that will be assessed for dollars earned. The next, if you follow that same line of $689 and you go over to your right into the boot, under the teacher column, you will see that we earned 44.92 teachers. So in this, we based our allotment for all grades, categories, and programs on the allotted teachers that we have earned. Subject specialists, we earned 1.03. Counselors, we earned 1.55 across the district, and tech specialists, 0.64. Also, other earned positions, 1 superintendent, 2 assistant superintendents, 3 principals, 1.1 assistant principal. We earned 1.37 on secretary, 1 accountant, 1 social worker, 0.28 social worker, 0.28 psychologist, and 0.18 special education leader, and 1.18 for our media center specialist. At the very bottom, going back to the left side of the boot, at the last row, the total funding on this allotment sheet is $4.4 million roughly. And the majority of the funding, as stated before, for us, the increase was from the money the state provided us for the increase in state health benefits, which was a 67% increase. And we did maximize some of our higher weighted funding sources, as mentioned in the last presentation. But this is the official allotment sheet that we go over to ensure that we're maximizing our state dollars to educate our students. For us, the FY24 budget, we're looking at an estimated revenue of $12,062,552. That being balanced with the same total estimated in expenditures. I do want to highlight that federal sources and local taxes, we receive those amounts in the fall. As you know, in August, we are set and approve our tax millage rate. So we'll actually see the 5-year tax digest, and we'll confirm whether we've received more and or the same or less. And if any adjustments need to be made, they will be adjusted at that time. Federal sources, this includes all of federal programs. So we have a lot of different programs that support specific things in our district. So as we get into the fall, we'll have more allotted information from the state as a pass-through, and if that number needs to be adjusted based upon availability, then we'll make adjustments then. So, Mr. Austin, you keep saying adjustments. Well, the revenue that we have, if we have more revenue, we have to rebalance the budget. So from that standpoint, I would then represent just the estimated budget based upon the new figures. But according to Georgia law, we do not have to have a new approval process because we're making adjustments based upon revenue being allotted. So we did research that because I did not want you all thinking we need to do this process again. From a comparison standpoint, comparing last year's budget to this year's budget, overall, there was $574,166 increase over last year to this year. Historically, each year the budget would increase at some point, at some fashion, because step increases in salary. Of course, this year we had that step, the increases for state health benefits for classified and certified staff. And what you see on the far right column in the comparison, if it's in red, that means that, of course, it decreased. And if it's in black ink, that means that it increased. One thing that we did specifically this year, if you look at pupil services under expenditures, you'll see that it's $610,000 more. And we reclassified staff based upon their job descriptions and functions in this category. They were moved from another category, for example, general administration, and moved to pupil services because what they do day to day mostly impacts the students. So some of the advice that we received from our last audit was to ensure that we align each personnel to their particular job description. And so we reclassified some staff in that. We did not add staff, we just moved people to different functions. So as you see going down, you'll see the adjustments per line item from improvement instructional services all the way down to other support services. I do want to point out essential support services as well. In the past, we did not use this function, but since we have an HR department that is growing and that's showing commitment to different things, then that budget, among other things, this is the appropriate category to use. So it was in general administration, but we moved it into essential support services because that's the true function of the HR department. And again, it's $574,166 more than last year. This concludes the tentative budget presentation. Are there any questions that I can address at this time?
Questions?
I think, Mr. Austin. Mr. Austin, according to your budget hearing, I think you did a good presentation on that. Question I have is not necessarily about the budget hearing.
Yes, sir.
I just like to know where we stand as far as our general fund. And you said we got budget for 44 teachers, and I was wondering how many teachers do we have over that actually will be coming from general fund?
That's a great question, Mr. Rouse. The subject matter teachers, English, math, writing, science, social studies, those teachers in those categories, we have what we're allotted, we ensure that we have that amount of teachers per allotment. Now, regardless, anything that's beyond the core, as we'll call it, that's locally funded, such as PE, art, music, any of those particular programs, they're locally funded. If we want anything in addition above to alternative programs, then that's locally funded. If we're looking at things to support, smaller class sizes, and the only thing I can recall is that we may have one additional teacher that we looked at the elementary school level to support math. However, by us adjusting the other programs, it ended up balancing out. So the allotment said that we should only have, I think, 2 math teachers, if I'm recalling correctly. But when we lost one, we wanted to ensure that we kept the momentum going in 5th grade to ensure they had a smooth transition to sixth grade. For science, we are using KRG Interlodge, which means that we are saving money on benefits. So those vacancies that we had in science and other positions, we're using a third party to bring in those foreign teachers that we talked about. And that saves us $20,000 or $30,000 because we're not paying benefits for those teachers. So we did do some cost-saving measures. To my understanding, we're not over allotment. And and we're constantly adjusting. Do I have my eyes set on us moving some things around? But do I have my eyes set on us moving some things around because around us people are doing the same thing? Yes, in 2 years we'll have to probably reduce some things. I mean, we have to probably look at some programs not doing it anymore. And that's not because of anything we're doing wrong. It's because that's the business that we're in now. It costs more to do certain things. And so we talk about academic return on investment. What programs are working? What positions are working? Are we getting the right value? And if the value is not there, then unfortunately, that's a cost that we have to remove. So it's not a reduction in force. It's more so, are you performing to our expectation? And if you're not, then that's a waste of tax dollars to us. And that's my stance. And I think that, HR and Dr. Bullock will agree with that. But we are, if you're not cutting the mustard, then it's time to find you something else.
Blackshear.
I was gonna ask the question, who is the contracted workers that we have? Is that, where is it on here? Is it where the, construction and improvement, where's the contracted workers, are they included?
The contracted workers for the teachers?
Yeah, I'm saying no, like the contracted service that we have coming in, like different contractors that's
Gotcha.
coming in.
Gotcha. Depends on what type of contracted service. I'll give you an example. Most of our contracted work would be under maintenance and operations. And that considers any constructing, building, renovating, things of that nature. Now, for this purpose, some of that work will be done out of the bond like we just talked about. So that's an entirely separate process. We do not put that into this budget presentation. Those things are a collaborative approach between internal, external, and Dr. Bullitt and you all. If we agree upon projects and things like that that brings in contracted services, then that'll be allocated through SPLOST in the bond. But again, that's a collaborative process that we plan for. It's something that we don't say, hey, we're going to spend $1.7 million because, again, we just received the bond. So I don't count money I don't have in the bank yet. So we'll start planning for that in the first quarter of this year.
When we do get contract work, could we get a copy of the contract workers that we have and their title and
Sure.
their payout?
Sure.
Salary?
Yes, ma'am. I don't see a problem with that. Good questions. Good questions.
Thank you for doing a good job on holding us title with our general funds.
Yes, ma'am. We will continue to improve our fund balance, and I've been saying more, no, lately, a lot more. So, but that's part of my job. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Last information item, we'll hear from Ms. Drummer on the personalized learning year-end review.
Mr. Karstoffen, Board Chair, Mr. Rouse, Vice Chair, Board Members King and Blackshear, Dr. Bullard, Superintendent of Schools, those in attendance in person, and everyone who is attending virtually, good evening. I would like to share with you our personalized learning year-end review. And as I begin, I will begin with the Tweeds County vision and mission statements. So the vision is to generate excellence, one team, one goal. And our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. Personalized learning aligns with strategic planning goals 1, which is learning and wellness for all, and 2, which is excellence ahead, academics, facilities, and opportunities. So under the personalized learning umbrella are support for the GREAT initiative and coordinating the Twigs Online Academy. So let's talk about the GREAT initiative first. So the Georgia Professional Standards Commission defines personalized learning as an instructional approach that uses student voice to enact an individual path and pace through a collection of competencies. So basically, students have a say in how they learn and how they show what they know. So to better address personalized learning, our district participates in the GREAT initiative, which is Georgia's Restart, Embrace, Engage, Expand, and Enhance Learning with Technology. As part of our personalized learning journey, schools were able to choose a personalized learning focus standard, and all 3 have actually selected the same one, which is Prioritize Executive Function Standard 1. But you'll see goal setting sheets in the core 4. So that's their ELA, math, science, and social studies courses, according to unit pre and post assessments. I am happy and proud to say that they definitely met their goal. So moving on to the middle school. The middle school had a school goal of having 90% of great teachers for grades 6 through 8 implement and utilize those same data tracking and goal setting sheets. But this was measured by an increase in their iReady diagnostic assessment data. Okay, so kudos to Twiggs County Middle School for achieving their goal as well. And then Jeffersonville Elementary followed suit in meeting their goal by having 80% or more of their teachers implement student data sheets for monthly data talks, which is basically where they had the students review how they scored on certain things, assessments and whatnot, on a monthly basis. And this was measured by an overall increase in their iReady diagnostic data as well, similar to the middle school. So kudos to our schools for setting, high goals and accomplishing them. So next, I'd like to speak with you about our online academy, which is currently for 6th through 12th grade scholars. We use Edgenuity as our basis for teaching our scholars. And new this year, we also use Personalized Learning Focus Standard 1, which ties into what the middle and high school are using. So that alignment is there. And we also use the same strategy of having goal setting and data tracking. So what I did was I met with the online students periodically, about every 3 weeks, just to look at their goals that they set for the 9 weeks and see how far they've advanced towards achieving those goals. So I would definitely like to share a proud moment. We have had another graduate from the Online Academy. This is Tyler Taylor. He has been in the program he has been in the Online Academy for 2 years now. All right, and I spoke with Tyler, and he said that, I asked him what his postgraduate plans are. And he said that he's launching a vintage style hunting hat line. Let me say that again. A vintage style hunting hat line. So when they go out and hunt, they look real good in some throwback looking hats, okay. Also, he said that he's interested in going to trade school. He wants to work in automotive. So he said that would entail painting, welding, and just general mechanics. So he said he already has some background in that because of, his father has taught him a lot. So he just wants to build on that. So very proud of Tyler. So for the other students, I sent out a survey, and I want to share with you some of the survey results. So for the question, I asked whether or not Edgenuity was easy to use. 100% of our scholars said yes, it is. I asked then if the Edgenuity lessons have helped them to learn a lot about each of their courses. Half of them agreed, and then the other half strongly agreed that it had. So then, for the question, the Twiggs County Online Facilitator, which is me, is available to answer questions and provide assistance. 100% of them strongly agreed, and you can see some of the feedback that they provided as far as what would make the online academy better. I also sent out a survey to parents, and the first question was in reference to our school's vision and mission statements being focused on student success. 100% of them agreed that they are. The question was posed whether their child is prepared for success in the next school year. 75% of parents strongly agreed that they are, and 25% said that they agree that they are. So next, my child has administrators and teachers that monitor and inform me of his or her learning progress, speaking of their child. So 75% said that they strongly agree that that is the case, that someone lets them know what's going on with their child's progress, and 25% agreed that that's the case. And you can read where parents followed up answering the questions: what do they like best about the school, and also what do they like least. Okay, so for next year, I've sent out interest surveys, and we've had 16 responses, and you can see that a majority of those are for sixth graders, which I found quite interesting. So a majority of those are sixth graders, and the least amount is for ninth grade. So these are potentially the breakdown of the students that we will have next year in the Twigs Online Academy. So are there any questions? We currently have 6 students. If they have extended time, they do. But their school year typically ends when everyone else is in. So that was the 26th. So they're actually all high school at this point. But it is, open to middle schoolers as well. And they have participated in the past. That's right. And it looks like next year, a majority of our participants, once we go through and vet the applications and get all of that going, it looks like a majority of them will be middle schoolers, sixth graders. And I just want to point out that the Online Academy is a way that the district, retains students who otherwise may not stay in the district. This is a flexible learning option for them to complete assignments, lessons, and, at their schedule. They still have to do it, but it's on their time. So that's something that's been pretty attractive to some families.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Drummond.
Thank you.
Before we move into executive session, are there any questions from the audience? Yes. The bond presentation and the tentative budget. If there are no other questions, I move that we move into executive session. Can I get a second? Okay, at this time, a motion has been made by myself and second by Mr. Rouse that we move into executive session. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say yes. Yes. At this time, we will move into executive session. And thank each of you for attending, and you Okay, I make a motion that we return from executive session. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, the motion to return from executive session has been properly made by myself, Chair Karstoffen, and second by Ms. Blackshear. Is there any discussion? The question is to return from executive session. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. The motion passes unanimously. At this time, we have made a motion to accept the new hires along with the resignations, and I guess they're all resignation, retirement. Can I get a motion? So the new hire is number 4636.
48.
Or 4836. I don't remember the answer. Y'all made me read it in the numbers.
You have for resignation, retirement 2888.
Resignation 2888,
Resignation 3367.
3367, and
3395.
3390. Can I get a motion to accept the new hires as well as the resignations?
So moved.
Second? Okay. It has been moved and properly second that we accept the new hires along with the resignations. Is there any questions? The question is on the motion to approve the new hire as well as the three resignations. All in favor, say yes. Yes. Is there any other business to discuss? If there's no other business, this meeting is now adjourned. Y'all enjoy this.